All right, so this, of course, is the big moment in diplomacy. The Indian Prime Minister is on his way to the United States. He'll be crossing the North Atlantic and he'll reach New York, where the city has been decked up to welcome the Indian Prime Minister and what is going to be his first ever official state visit to the United States of America. The billboards at the Times Square have been filled with messages and visuals of the Indian Prime Minister. And upon reaching, the Indian Prime Minister will kick-start his visit with a flurry of meetings with the top industry leaders, starting with the Tesla CEO Elon Musk, which will of course be interesting because this might open up Tesla's foray into the Indian market. And then the Indian Prime Minister will also sit down with Nobel laureates, economists, artists, scientists and also the health sector experts. The 21st of June will of course be a huge day for India's soft power projection. Remember, the 21st of June is International Yoga Day and the Indian Prime Minister will lead the global celebrations at the United Nations headquarters in the Yoga Day celebrations. And people from over 180 different nations will of course be taking part in this mega event to celebrate Yoga Day. And immediately afterwards, the Indian Prime Minister will be heading to the American capital, Washington, D.C., where he'll be addressing a joint session of the U.S. Congress. And this, of course, will be another historic moment. It'll be nothing short of that. You see, it was back in 2016 when he had delivered his first address to the U.S. Congress, and this will be his second address to the joint sitting of the Congress. Now, this feat is unprecedented for any Indian leader in India's independent history. No Indian Prime Minister before Narendra Modi has addressed the US Congress not once, but twice. Why just Indian Prime Ministers? World over, very few leaders and dignitaries have been given this incredible honor. This includes the likes of Winston Churchill and Nelson Mandela. So Prime Minister Modi's address will of course put him in a league of his own. Now, the overarching aim of the Prime Minister's visit is to strengthen India's bilateral ties with the United States. And according to the US Ambassador to India, Eric Garcetti, who's described this goal quite aptly, the goal is to deepen cooperation vis-a-vis four important pillars. Firstly, peace, prosperity, planet and people. And the very same line is being told by the Indian side as well. Before flying to the United States, the Indian Prime Minister gave an interview to the Wall Street Journal. Now, speaking on the Russia-Ukraine war, Narendra Modi said that the world has full confidence in India's topmost priority, which is, of course, peace. He also underlined that India is not just a neutral nation, but it actually has taken a clear side, and the side that India has chosen is the side of peace and negotiations and talks. Now, on the India-China ties, the Indian Prime Minister stated that peace and tranquility at the border areas is the topmost priority. He said, and I quote him here, India is fully prepared and India is committed to protecting its sovereignty and its dignity. Now, experts say that this is going to be a win-win visit, where both India and the United States will benefit. For India, this visit is going to be a unique opportunity to modernize its military. Remember, the Americans are now willing to transfer technology for their weapons as well to a certain extent. It is also a visit that will ensure self-sufficiency and will bridge the capacity-capability deficit. For the United States of America, this is going to be a chance to utilize India as a counterweight to China. The United States sees Beijing as its biggest competitor and a threat. So India has become extremely important for America's Indo-Pacific policy because the United States want to retain its #1 position in the region and also to counter China's regional dominance in diplomacy, trade and economy.
I think if she really makes her...
And also, WION's Molly Gambhir is presently in New York and has been tracking the developments that are unfolding on the ground and has sent us this report. Listen in.
The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's maiden state visit to the United States comes with a wide range of expectations. Also, the key area of cooperation being defense industry cooperation and ISET being a critical component of this entire arrangement as well. ISET, of course, aims to create India and the United States as trusted technology partners. It aims to provide and focus on areas of mutual interest in technology cooperation like artificial intelligence, quantum computing, even semiconductors. And the GE F414 deal is also another key deliverable. As US officials have been pointing out, the deliverables are not just about the bullet points on the paper. It's an overarching theme of removing barriers as far as sharing of technology is concerned, and specifically the GE or the General Electric deal when it comes to co-manufacturing jet engines is a crucial step in that direction because it will put India in that elite group of countries that have mastered jet engine technology, just 4 countries so far. And with the Indian Prime Minister set to meet US President Joe Biden, and the overarching theme being that of a boost to defense cooperation and just a significant step forward in taking this partnership to a whole new level, the Indian Prime Minister's visit, of course, will be focusing on not just defense cooperation, but on people-to-people ties as well, and on building and deepening the trust which already exists. And that is another element that ISET also focuses on. Molly Kampir in New York for WION World is One.
All right, and also joining us live on the broadcast is WION's principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal, is joining us live from New York. Good morning to you, Siddhant. This is a crucial visit by the Indian Prime Minister. This will be his first official state visit to the United States of America. Now, a lot of things have been spoken about what is likely to be accomplished during the Indian Prime Minister's visit. But what is also, at this moment making headlines is the possible meeting between the Indian Prime Minister and also the CEO of Tesla, Elon Musk. That Tesla has been trying to get into the Indian market for quite some time is a fact that's fairly well known. Do we expect any kind of a breakthrough to happen when the Indian Prime Minister, if he were to meet with the Tesla CEO Elon Musk?
Well, Mohammed, let me first give you a brief here. I'm standing in front of Prime Minister's hotel here in New York, and as the time comes closer ahead of Prime Minister's arrival here, security is being beefed up. You can see the road behind me. It is a road which is now blocked. Normally, people usually do use this road to travel around, but this is now blocked, and a lot of now gathering as well, and we do expect the members of the diaspora also shortly coming here to greet the Indian Prime Minister. Something we have seen happening during Prime Minister's foreign visits abroad, because the diaspora is always keen for a warm welcome. But talking about your question, Prime Minister's meeting, whether it's with Elon Musk, whether it's with the diaspora, or whether it's with the political leadership here in America, it will be a reaffirmation of how India and the United States have come closer. The Indian Prime Minister today meets thinkers and influencers and businessmen, including Elon Musk. He, of course, is the chief tweet, and also he is the CEO of Tesla, and he's keen to set up a base in India. Now, he is keen for getting regulatory approvals and perhaps some relaxations as well, but it might take some time. But all in all, the fact that the Indian Prime Minister and Elon Musk are meeting here in New York is something of a significant development. Musk, of course, whether a positive image or a negative image, he is a major influencer, and his tweets, of course, are something that can make or break the stock market as well. So essentially a key meeting there, but also it will be Yoga Day celebrations here in New York. That will be a key focus. Remember, the Indian Prime Minister leads the Yoga Day celebrations on Wednesday morning. That will be evening time India, and we will see how there will be American influencers present on the ground, along with diplomats of over 180 countries doing yoga with the Indian Prime Minister at the UN campus.
Absolutely, indeed. It's, of course, going to be an important visit by the Indian Prime Minister. Lots of developments expected there. Thank you very much indeed, Siddhant Sibal, for joining us from New York and getting us all those updates. We'll, of course, come back to you as more details emerge in the story in New York. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.